Welcome learners to today's online class of computer science on 30th April 2020. Today's topic is data file handling. Data file handling means we store the data in a file, an external file, and that data can be used later on or accessed later on with the help of Python programs. You can see this with an example. Here user is writing a program. Generally when we write a short program, the program resides in random access memory, that is RAM, and again it gives output on the screen and the program is terminated. That means the data stored or executed is temporary. When the program is complete, the data vanishes or the information which we used in program vanishes. Now we are using another concept where we write the program, the data moves from RAM, that means whatever the data we use there, that is stored in RAM, and after that it moves to hard disk, which is permanent storage. When it is stored in hard disk with the name that is known as file name, and that file can be binary or a text file. Later on, with the help of the same or another program, we can access the data stored in that hard disk. This concept, when the user stores the data in hard disk, that is permanent storage, and access it or modify it, is known as data file handling. So go through the theory portion here. It is same thing explained. Earlier we write the program, they are known as volatile one, and when we are going to write these type of programs, they are persistent. Okay, next we move to next slide. Since the data stored in external file, it is persistent because the data permanently stored in the system, and Python provide reading and writing capability of these data files. These files are known as data files because we have stored the data in that. And a definition of file is a collection of characters which we can perform read and write functions on that. We store that data or that file in secondary storage, which is known as permanent storage. While handling a file, we can perform following operation. That means file handling of a data file can perform following operations. First is opening a file. When we have to write the data, we have to open it. When we have to read a file, we have to open it. The first operation is opening a file, and this is done with the help of open function or file function. The syntax is that a file object is created and open function is used where the name of file is specified, which file we are going to open, and a access mode. That means we are going to open a file in which mode, read, write or append mode. File operation can be read, write or append. Other operations are also there. And finally, when we perform all the operations, our work is done, we have to close the file. That means at the end we have to close the file, and this is done with the help of close function. We will see this in detail. Here the open function creates an object which is used later to access the file for functions related to file manipulation. That means whatever operation we have to do on a file, read, write, append, modification, deletion, etc., that is done with the help of this open function, and open function returns a value in file object. An example, file1 equal to open story.txt. Here the file name txt specifies text file and the name of file is story. So this story.txt file is opened in R. R means read mode. Here mistake is there, double quotes are not closed, so you close it yourself. Then read, write, append, these are three modes. Here when you are going to write in a file, you have to write W. When you are going to append means adding some information. Writing and appending are two different operations. In writing, it will write the file with beginning, that means previous contents will be deleted, whereas in append, previous content will remain there and new contents will be added. And finally we have to close a file. While closing a file, the object which is used to create a file is used and a close function is used. File1.close. This we have seen file1 here. While opening the file, and now no need to specify the name of file while closing the file. These are some properties which you can go through. Theory portion is there. These are different modes. That means read in binary mode. The file can be in binary mode. Binary mode means a file where data is written in binary form, 0-1 form, which you know. So there are two types of files which Python deals. One is text file. Text file is sequence of characters and they are written in a line and they are stored in permanently. Generally this ASCII format is used, but you can also use Unicode format. This is important one, each text file, each line in text file is terminated with special character which is known as EOL, end of line, which specify that the line is ended and new data will be written on next line. The next file is binary file. Binary file is used to store binary data such as images, videos, audio, etc. and binary digits are used to store that file. In binary file there is no delimiter at the end. That means it writes the data continuously. So it's stored directly in that form. So it is easy and fast working. This is important property of a binary file. We will deal text file first and binary file later on. These are some functions related to file, that is reading. While reading, read function is of following types. First is read. It will read entire content. The file object which we have created earlier, that is file1.read, it will read all the lines, all the data of file. Whereas read n, it will read number of characters. That means if we want to read 10 characters, then we have to write read 10. It will read only 10 characters. Here the object is again the same, that which we have used while opening a file. Then another format is read line. It will read one line. Again file object and read line, it will read one line. Read lines, if you want to read more lines, then file object and read lines. This we will see the example. These are the examples. You can go through and even use them. Here the file hello.txt is opened in read mode. That means this is read mode, and first we use read. It will read all the things and store in the variable data, and now we print the data, it will print the content, and lastly we have to close the file. These are the examples. Go through it. These are examples of read and read lines. Similarly, writing a file. When you want to write the file, the write function is used. It is of two forms, write and write lines. In write, a string is used as a parameter, and whatever is that data or information in form of string is stored in the file. This is again used with the help of file object dot write and string. We will see this with an example. Then write lines, here sequence, it is used to multiple strings, lists or tuples, etc. That means we have to write more than one string or tuple or list like that. Then we will use write lines. It will write more lines at a time. Again the same syntax, file object and write lines, and the sequence or the object which we want to write. This is an example of write. Here a file is opened hello.txt. The now mode is changed W. It is in write mode. Then first line is f.write, write function. This is file handling program. \n for new line. That means after writing this line, cursor move to next line, and the next line it will write again this line. I am writing the data. Again next line character, end of line, that is, and then file dot write f.write, write to a file, again \n. So this is the output. It will be stored in this file hello.txt. These three lines will be there. You can open it with the help of notepad, and this line is printed that it has written successfully, and lastly you have to close the file. This is regarding write function. Now write lines, here more lines can be written. Here there's four strings are stored in this lst variable, and f.writeLine lst, automatically these lines will be written. And see there the output is like this because you have used \n. That is, each time the data is written in new lines. The content shown here. So go through the slides and other things. And a with function is used. This you can view with the example and it will be easier to view. Appending means the data addition in a existing file. That means previous data will be there and new data is added. For this purpose a mode is specified. Here see, we are writing a in place of r or w, and again the same program, it is adding. Now this was previous file. That means earlier the data was this. We have written this data in the file. Now here two lines are added. This is appended line. This is another appended line. So two lines are written. So see here, the previous 4 lines are there and these 2 lines are added at the end. So after that, file is closed. This is all. Go to the slide and go through the examples. Tomorrow we will do some practical examples. That's all. Thank you.